afternoon. I'm Shawn Yao, and this is One News Now. The source of the liquid waste found in the Manila Bay could face charges after water samples that were taken by the Environment Department tested positive for oil and grease. Shyla Francisco joins us live from the Manila Bay for more details. Shyla, what charges will be carried out by the DENR, and to whom have they figured out where this is coming from?
Shawn, the Environment Department is set to issue a notice of violation to MV Sarangani after discharging liquid waste into the Manila Bay over the weekend. This comes after water samples showed high levels of fecal coliform as well as oil and grease content. DNR Undersecretary Jonas Leones says this disputes the owner's claims that the discharge may just be a result of the typhoon. A technical conference will be called to give the owner a chance to explain his side, after which cases may be filed as early as next week. Complaints include administrative sanctions in violation of the Clean Water Act, Marine Pollution Act, and Fisheries Code, among others. Criminal cases can also be filed if proven that the vessel has deliberately discharged waste in the waters and if they refuse to follow DNR orders. This is on top of other penalties, including a 10,000 to 200,000 peso daily fine since the beginning of the discharge under the Clean Water Act. They will also be mandated to shoulder the rehabilitation of the polluted area. Shawn, the owner, earlier said that it is willing to comply to the sanctions and penalties to be imposed by the DNR. Shawn?
All right, does this affect in any way the rehab that is ongoing over there, Shai?
Shawn, according to Environment Undersecretary Jonas Leones, it hasn't affected the rehabilitation. So far, the rehabilitation project is still ongoing as of now. Shawn?
All right, thank you for that update. Stay safe down there. That was Shyla Francisco joining us live from the city of Manila. The Octa Research Group has backed the proposed hybrid modified ECQ in the NCR Plus bubble. In today's Laging Handa briefing, Professor Ranjit Rai said extending the MECQ status is needed to continue the downtrend in COVID-19 cases. He also warned of an India-like surge if the capital gets downgraded to GCQ or General Community Quarantine status.
If we have a longer MECQ, we can heal po. We can stabilize yung numbers natin both at the level po ng reproduction number. We can also lessen the number of daily cases. We've sa Octa po, na-estimate namin if it's over 3,000 cases, mapupuno pa rin po yung mga hospital natin. Kaya kung mas matagal po yung ating healing period, yung exit strategy natin sa MECQ, maybe 1 or additional at most 2 weeks, no? Makikita natin ho na talagang bababaho yung daily number of cases po natin, bababaho yung reproduction number natin, yung hospitals natin makikita mo luluwag talaga siya.
Here are other stories we're keeping our eyes on. A study conducted by Public Health England shows that one dose of Pfizer's or AstraZeneca's vaccine could significantly reduce household transmission. Results state that those who were infected 3 weeks after getting the jab were up to 49% less likely to pass the virus within the household. The U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, has awarded nearly 12 million pesos to 5 universities here in the Philippines. USAID said the grants will help the schools build on previously funded research in order to address new challenges brought about by COVID-19. And the Transportation Department, together with the MMDA, is set to distribute a bike manual for cyclists, motorists, and other road users. The passport-sized booklet contains important safety guidelines and pointers, including the use of safety gear and hand signals. And in other news, some people hop from one community pantry to another just to put food on their tables for a day or two. But in order to ensure that supplies reach more people, organizers will now be implementing uniform operating hours. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us a front seat to this story.
Earlier this morning, hundreds lined up at this community pantry organized by private water concessionaire MAYNILAD. The line went long as expected. And at the end of it, I met Colin and his neighbors. Colin said they visit around 4 community pantries a day since last week.
Actually, may mga schedule kami. Sa umaga, tulad kahapon, simbahan sa UP.
He said the situation in the early morning is the easiest, but the succeeding ones, not so much, especially with cut-offs.
Alam mo puhunan lang na community pantry? Saga talaga. Kahit ibinigay nila, may puhunan pa rin yung pagod, no?
Colin lost his job as a barber due to the pandemic. He is now reliant on government dole-out to pay off debt. And the pantries help him put food on the table.
Malaking tulong kasi nakakain na kami ng maayos, unlike before. Dati naubusan kami ng bigas eh. No? Ngayon, hindi na.
While the pantry's slogan states, kumuha ayon sa pangangailangan, magbigay batay sa kakayahan, Colin has no choice but to worry about the next few days. Since going pantry hopping, he has already bagged 15 kilos of rice and loads of other goods.
Ayan yun.
Ito yung mga binatang na ipon at saka mga noodles. Ayan, noodles. Actually, may namigay pa nga ng munggo. Ayan, tsaka tuyok sa loob. Ayan. So, galing ayuda yan lahat. Ito yung pinila namin ng isang araw. So, ngayon, nilakuha natin sa Nawasa. Ito naman, no? Puro gulay. Wala nang bigas kasi tinanghali tayo. Ayan.
To avoid community pantry hopping, organizers in Quezon City will now implement uniform operating hours from 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. This will also prevent senior citizens and PWDs from lining up at the heat of noon. But for people like Colin, this still means waking up early, making the most of limited hours in an effort to live another day. I'm Pamela Vasquez and we are One News.
In India, there seems to be no end in sight for medical frontliners as hospitals in the South Asian country continue to grapple with the surge in COVID-19 cases. Bloomberg's Ruth Pollard walks us through a 1,000-bed private hospital in New Delhi. Let's watch this.
We are short of bed, we are short of oxygen right now, and we are short of other things. It is very difficult right now to see the patients.
We're here in the emergency department of Mulchand Hospital in the capital, New Delhi. This wasn't part of the hospital's emergency services until the second wave of COVID hit India. Now they've had to use every available space to cram in patients who are incredibly ill. They're in need of oxygen, ventilation, and critical care. The oxygen supplies here have been running critically low for days and days. Doctors tell us they don't know how long their oxygen supplies will last, when they'll get another delivery, or how much they'll get delivered. It makes it incredibly difficult to run this emergency department and get through this crisis.
People are not realizing the fact that it's a second wave is always deadly. We always anticipated second wave somewhere in April and May, but we never knew it will hit us so hard and so fast, because last time when Corona was there, we got some time for preparation because the cases were not coming. But this time after Holi, within 1 day, we had around more than 2 lakh cases, and the problem is everybody requires some oxygenation and they need some kind of treatment, and hospitals are our burden.
Add to that, many of their colleagues, many of the doctors and nurses here are COVID positive themselves and have had to go home and isolate, leaving this hospital incredibly short-staffed and running on empty.
We are really hard. We are managing the patients to save their life, and what to do? We have to work on this. This our situation. We have to fight for this. It's like a war situation.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News.